Yeah.
How are you, mate? Just
Yeah,
wanna
good.
have a little chat with you.
Yeah, fly ahead.
Listen, obviously you're on the best football podcast show in the world.
Ever.
Ever. You're here with the ledge.
Certainly.
Yeah. Zane, he likes to chuck in the odd comment now and again, but we just kind of ignore him.
Yeah, we do. Normally ignore his comments.
Yeah, usually ignore him, but we won't today because you're a Spurs fan, so
Yeah.
I think we'll have to kind of humour him a little bit. But you've worked with a lot of top young players, and I know we've spoken before and we speak quite regularly about players coming through, how you manage them, and we've worked before at your time at Spurs and also at QPR. So it was really interesting, and I wanted to bring you in on the show just so you can kind of give our listeners and our fans an insight to what it's like working with young players and identifying talent, and you know the transition from a kid coming from Sunday League football into a professional setup and being able to manage them. Because I know you had a number of roles in your time when you was at Spurs before you became a coach like where you are now at QPR. So let's just talk a little bit about that. So what is it like when a youngster comes in?
I think what you got to remember, grassroots is where you want to see the boys all start. I mean, because it's where the game's really pure. And I don't know for yourself, when you start playing grassroots football, there is none of this.
Which the Ledge did, by the way.
Yeah,
But don't you find that I totally agree with what you're saying, but don't you find that why do clubs then take kids at 7, 8, and then they stop playing grassroots football? So
it's hard because
Ledge, that's a great question. I actually wanted to ask you about that as well.
I'm currently I was coaching yesterday with the club I'm at, and it was with under 7s, under 8s, and you think sometimes, and I've got 2 young children, right? They're really young. I don't know what they'll do. I mean, they might like tiddlywinks or whatever, as long as they're good children. And when my kind of philosophy that I'm under with the club I'm with is that they've got to be good people. So the experience of grassroots football is important, but the big challenge is that there's a big difference between the grassroots level and then the academy standard. And if boys want to, they're competitive at that age, so they want to replicate that. They want to be the best they can be, and the facilities are a big difference as well. So personally, I mean, I think they should play as long as they can do in grassroots football. If I was talking about my own son, I would, I think the best time to go into academy probably 12, 13. I think personally, because you still got that rawness. You're not like, oh, I'm in academy football. Like I'm a little professional. You're actually wanting playing that game.
So
at that
12,
level.
13, you're saying,
Yeah.
You being a professional coach, you think is an ideal age for a youngster to come into a professional setup.
That's my personal view. Yeah.
That's your personal view. But with all that's going on at the moment and the level of competition for players with football clubs all over the country, we're seeing a situation recently with Liverpool Football Club, which they seem like allegedly could be in trouble for tapping up a young player. So how do you? I know you've done a lot of safeguarding in your line and in your role at Spurs as well, because that's how we met initially. So how would you protect that, and how would you, maybe steer clear of a youngster getting involved in that? Because right now, the way the football market is, people wanting players younger and younger and younger.
I think it's down to the parent. It's down to the parent to see, is it the right? Because
that's the problem, though.
Yeah. That's the thing. If the
What
parents
do you mean by that,
pushing
Ledge?
them-
Expand on
Well,
that.
because the problem is the parents are living their lives for their kids. So if they're a QPR fan, for instance, and somebody wants to take little Johnny who's a QPR youngster at 6, 7, go and do that. But what the clubs do, they stop them playing any other football,
Yes,
which is wrong.
from 9 years old.
Well, they shouldn't do that. And the parent, they tried to stop Elliot playing, but because he's lucky enough, I played football.
Yeah.
And I said to him, no, he's still going to play school football.
Yeah.
He's still going to play with his mates. And if you want to have him at your academy, it's no problem. He can still go to your academy. But
And that's because they're so scared that he's going to get injured?
No, I don't think.
I just think it's the environment.
I think it's more
it's-
of a personal and selfish game for the club.
And not every club's like that. I think, again, I'm going to talk about how I'd be like yourself and Mum if they play football to that level, was that I would want him to play in Sunday League football, because I think you get different things from that. And also, it's hard because, when you're at a top Category 1 academy and you're going around to different grounds, you're seeing different things. And then what gets to the point when boys are really hungry, when they've been doing that from the age of 8, how can you keep them hungry if they get from 8 to 16, they've been doing that same thing? So, and that's why you see it's very hard for a lot of under 8s to go all the way up. I mean, it's a long journey. It's 12 years. So
Because essentially what you're saying is that they've been in the system for so long. So an 8-year-old kid, by the time he's 16, he has a body and a mentality of a 32-year-old because he's been in the system for that long. Where he hasn't been enjoying the game, Ledge, would you
Well,
say?
no, I think he's just got used to all the good things that come with. You go and play Sunday, you got to do your own kit. You got to
Yeah.
take your own kit and take your own kit in, and the pitches are not great, which I don't think is a bad thing.
No, which I don't think.
And you get parents on the screaming, and they've got to get used to that because you get fans screaming at you when you're playing. So, no, I don't think it's a good thing they go in so young. And I think it's up to. It's very difficult for the parents who from are fans of a club to say no. I don't want my son going there because obviously the lad's going to want to go there because he wants to be associated because you go to school. I'm associated with Tottenham Hotspur. I'm associated with, but it's at the end of the day, it's. If you know the game, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything because in 10 years' time you might not be.
Yeah, that's right. But do you think you was able to advise your boys that because you've been in the game and you've been in the system yourself, so you've seen the good?
Well, I think the club, it was West Ham. The club knew that I couldn't be bullied because at the end of the day, they can
You're
only-
Rob Lee, you're
they-
the ledge.
Well, they can. It doesn't. But I got lots of parents wanted advice, and I said the same to them. I said, "Listen, don't let them bully you, because if your son's good enough, they'll keep watching him. They ain't just going to say
I'll get rid of him because he's not coming.
because they'll be
training
scared
today.
that another club would take him."
Oh yeah.
So, and I said, sometimes it actually works in your favour because the club will go, "Why is he not letting him sign for us at this young age? Oh, well, he must be pretty good." And so, I would just say, listen. If the academy would agree to let your son play at the school, and then it's no problem because I'm not a believer that you can play too much football at that age. No. I played Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Sunday mornings, train during the week. I don't think you can get enough football. Keeps kids off streets, and if they're playing and you're training, you're like a sponge when you're younger, and you learn so much, and you learn good and you learn bad. And I just think it's something that academies have got to look at. They're too young at some.
Yeah.
To get them that disciplined and it's too young.
I mean, I can from the places I've been around in different roles. I think it's about keeping it as enjoyable as possible, especially with the younger age groups, because it's all about potential. You can't look at an 8.
Yeah, because you've never seen an 8-year-old
9.
before in the Premier League, have you?
You can't. So it's about potential, and about enthusiasm, about how you can improve them, as Rob's saying. And I know some clubs are worried that children are not playing enough football because of other aspects and computer games. And so I think if you're playing for your school, I think most clubs will let the boys play for the schools up to under 13s, 14s. I know that from the clubs I've been at, which is important. I think there's factors like growth spurts and when you have to look at, all right, when's the right time to do this, do that. And I always say we encourage the club I'm at is that they play different sports as well, because they're in different circles, get multiple outcomes from doing different things rather than just football. And it's important. But there are some children who are just obsessed with playing football, who just want to play for that club they're at, and that's their life.
And Tim, let me ask you a question, which always is a bit of a bugbear for me to stick it right on you as well.
Go on.
Is that a Spurs question?
No, but
Okay.
Eddie and I have been to a training session before, and I'm not a big fan of this, and I know Eddie doesn't do it, but you see 10, 11, 12-year-olds, and you've got agents circling around the parents, circling around them. What's your opinion of agents and the pressure that they put on sometimes the families with financial...
And be kind to me.
And because
No, but
I'll be honest with you.
But what I'm saying is,
yeah.
Tim, like your boy, by
Yeah.
the way, if he signs for us, Man City,
Yeah.
we're going to pay for his education, we're going to give you a new house, all this bollocks. I think sometimes it must really confuse young kids and families, and sometimes
But do you know what, Zayn?
they make the wrong
Sorry,
mistakes.
Tim, I'll let
Yeah,
you
go on.
answer this,
Oh.
but Zayn just said something here in terms of it might confuse the kid. At this point in time, the kid has no idea or understanding what he's about to walk into. And this is me being 100% honest with you. With my agent hat on, a kid has no idea what he's walking
Yeah,
into.
but the parents
So,
do,
but
don't
this is
they?
what Robert was just alluding to earlier on. The parents who are in charge of their children should be able to go, well, you know what, little Johnny is not ready, or little Johnny's not going to go to that club yet because he doesn't need to go. He needs to be playing where he's playing, needs to be at grassroots football, needs to be playing with his mates, he needs to be enjoying football because you got to...
Yeah, but you're saying this, Ed, as though the parents know what they're talking about.
They don't.
Some parents won't. They won't have a clue.
No, you're right,
Yeah,
but that's what I
yeah.
was going to say. Some parents don't. So all of a sudden, when someone like me comes along, and if I'm a little bit of a wide ball, and I turn around and say, "Oh, look, you know what? I think your son can go there and do this, that, and the other." And there's funds attached to it. And let's be honest here. 90.9% of footballers come from deprived backgrounds. You know, there's only an odd few that is, you know, been fortunate enough that their fathers have played or come from a middle class background. I've never met personally or known a kid that's come from a privileged background that's playing football, because normally they all go to rugby or cricket, right? So you have to look at that factor. So if an agent pops around and goes, well, you know what, there's a couple of quid for your boy to come over to me, and oh, by the way, I'm going to take him to this club. She's thinking happy days. So I don't think the child at that point knows what's going on until he's a little bit older.
But does that
I
make
think-
Tim's job difficult?
I think it's, you know, ethically you got to look at, you know, what's the right thing, and you've got to think what is, because what you remember is that a child will end up resenting the family or the situation if it doesn't work out. So if you know, you said earlier, if you put all your kind of expectation on that situation, what happens if he doesn't like football? What happens if the youth team manager changes? What happens if the philosophy changes? So I think you've always got to look at the child at the centre of everything. And, you know, I think it's wrong if you go into, you're thinking, talking to young players of that age. I think what happens now, because of social media, it's easier to identify who the best players are. But I think it's, you know, personally, it's difficult. But I think what clubs are getting good at is better the devil you know. So they're understanding it's happening. The FA, the Premier League, all the football bodies are looking at it to try and stop it. And then look at the age actually when at, I think it's 15 to 16 when agents can approach parents, and then try and understand what's going on. But, you know, I don't think there is some good players out there who are 9 and 10, but who knows what's going to happen? You know what I mean?
And that's what I was going to say. So how do you identify that talent that comes into your club? How do you go, okay, well, you know what, Rob Lee over there, he's a bit of a player. Zane's a player, you know.
Brilliant player.
Yeah, easy.
I think every club will have a different remit of what they look for.
Yeah.
They'll have a you know, kind of a talent ID.
So you personally, what do you look for in a kid?
I think if, you know, in my area, I look for the biggest thing is you know, enthusiasm to want to play. You know, and then also, you know, technique's important, but technique can get better through, you know, right practice, right environment, and you know, and I think that wow factor is massive. Now, some, you know, you look at some children now and they'll go on YouTube and they'll watch Messi, Ronaldo, and you know, they'll watch those type of players, but they don't understand the basics level of technique they have that's been put in them from a young age. So at the youngest age groups, you know, you have to have that. I mean, how many training sessions did you do, you know, through your career? So you do more training sessions than you play matches.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to have a level of enthusiasm to want to do it every day. So when, you know, I look at players and think, okay, does he want to play football? Does he enjoy it? Does he enjoy each part of it? The resilient side of it, and then the technique will come. But there'll be boys who are blessed with, you know, maybe some great physical attributes. But I always find that if you don't have the right, you talk about mentality a little bit at a young age, then you probably.
So that's something that you can spot from a 6 or 7 or 8 year old if they have that mentality side.
Yeah, I think when you look at them at 6 or 7, the social fact is massive. You know what I mean? So, and that's why parents, you know, when I go do the training session, you know, the parents are looking. It's like you're picking a school, looking at a relationship with the coach as well. Because in the day, you know, boys will come and go, but it's like, do they enjoy it? Yeah. So even when I pick up my son from nursery, he's going to be 3 soon, but he speaks quite well. First thing I say to him, did you enjoy it? What did you do today? Did you like it? Because that's what parents want to see. Yeah. Because then they're going to express themselves more. At probably 9 or 10, you'll start to look at, you know, different qualities that they might need to have, you know, to stay within the system. And every year, he's a tick sheet. You know, does he do that? Does he do that? How can he improve on that? And the big thing, the coach has got to work on the how they can get better. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes it happens at different rates. Yeah. And most clubs, it's about a pathway as well. I remember seeing your son play, going to a few, you know, reserve games, and I think when he went on loan, I've gone to a few games, and you know, it's about
better than his dad, wasn't he?
Oh, listen, different positions.
On a serious note, Ledge. On a serious note, when did you realise that your boys can play football?
I realised Elliot, the younger one, but from very early age.
What age was that?
He was probably 7, 8, I think, when we came down from from Newcastle.
Yeah.
But he'd been at a rugby school and cricket school.
Yeah.
So, but my eldest was a bit older. Oliver was older. He didn't till he was probably 15.
It's quite late, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was late. I signed Charlton at 17, so I didn't go for any sort of
And
system.
that funny,
or-
isn't it? History
Yeah.
repeating itself.
Yeah, it's strange. That's why I'm all for kids playing Sunday league with enjoying it.
Yeah.
And some of them I think don't enjoy it. They want the rewards, they want the money, they want the fame.
You're
But they
doing
don't
it for the
actually
wrong
enjoy
reason,
it.
yeah.
They don't actually enjoy it. I think if you've played all the way through and you're getting up every morning and you're actually sometimes you don't want to go training, you've got to train, and sometimes you've got to play.
Yeah.
And I think for someone to do that, for kids to do that, they must love the game.
Yeah.
It's got to be in your DNA. Really.
Yeah. And that's it. And you got to love football. You got to, I'm personally a tough week. What would happen and stuff like that. And then I'm watching the game on Sunday, and I think, we didn't do well, but listen, that happened. Tottenham, and then I watched the Classico, and I'm like a little kid running around the room when we're scoring. My wife's looking, and that's the you have to
That's
love the game
enthusiasm.
like that.
That's just natural.
And when you do talk to children, and I say, what do you like about football? And their motivations are different things. Then you think, how long are they going to stay
Within the
in
system,
it?
yeah.
Because it's hard. Football's hard.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's tough. And a lot of children are resilient. They've got that quality in them. But then if you get released,
How do you deal with that?
how do you deal with that? It's hard. It's
Okay. All right. Brilliant. Tim, listen, thank you for
no problem.
that. I want you to stick around.
Yeah, no worries.
Just want to go through the weekend's roundup, and there's a few more questions
Yeah.
that I have for you, and I know the guys have for you as well. So,
Brilliant.
stick around and hear what we have to say.